So yeah, that just happened. Give me just a second. I'm getting my chat all back up and everything. Sorry about that. My my stream just completely crashed out on me. It was. I was sitting here streaming, and then it just B-sodded right in the middle of it and kicked me out. Lucky enough, my computer's a monster, so the thing just like rebooted like it was nothing. But sometimes that happens. All right, so yeah, you can kind of see right here for the you can see my desktop. See 4,500 megahertz on my CPU, and then my video card's a Strix 1080. And then I have I'm running a one 500 gigabyte or one 500 gigabyte SSD for the storage drive, and then I have two 4 terabyte 5600 RPM hard drives that are in RAID configuration. And then let me get my chat back up and running. There it is. All right, can you guys hear me or see me or anything else? You gotta stop the Chromecast on your phone. Gotcha. Can you hear me okay? Is everything working? Anyways, let's see here. Give me a second. You're gonna get a little bit of feedback here because I'm about to hit this to see if I get any sound. There we go. Yep, I can hear it. That's cool. That's no problem, man. I'm just glad you're here. That's all. It gets boring playing, playing 12 hours worth of streams with no one to talk to. People start coming in here looking like you're crazy or something. I don't have the heart to tell them that I actually am. I just, yeah, I am crazy. Throw someone in the tip jar, will you? Anyway, so I think we were talking about. Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. I was talking about my Alienware experience. So yeah, this Area 51 I paid $12.50 for the Alienware Area 51 on the refurbished site, which isn't a bad deal in its entirety, but because it came with the 6850K and came with the Strix 1080, and that's the only reason I spent $1,200 on an Alienware. Was because that cost alone justified the cost of both of those parts. So I get it, and it starts heating up randomly and just randomly shutting down. You know, because the 6850 is a $600 chips is a $600 processor. 6850 is a was a $600 processor at the time, and the video card was an $800 processor or like $700 processor at the time. So I could justify the $12.50 cost for it because I was like, okay, even if the computer's got complete trash, at least the processor and the video card make up the cost. As long as they work, I can always build something better. Anyways, I kept randomly shutting down. I called their customer support line, and they were pretty helpful to a point, but then they said that they were going to need to take it into their warehouse to fix it. They needed to take it to their center. And I needed to have it in the quote-unquote original configuration that it shipped out in, meaning I had to take out my Strix video card that I swapped it out with 2 weeks after I bought it, and I'd already gotten rid of that. And, you know, I don't know anybody. I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody that goes out and buys a $600 video card and then just leaves their old 600 video card laying around if they don't have a computer to put it in. I don't know anyone that does that unless they're like high-end gamers or PC builders. You know, there's absolutely no reason to keep a $600 video card around that you're probably never going to touch. So I did what anybody would do. I sold it. And because I didn't have the original configuration, they weren't going to honor the warranty and fix the computer. So that left it to me. So I had to start buying parts and stuff to fix it all. And by the time it was done, I had enough to actually build a whole new computer. And so I did. You know, because I replaced the motherboard, I replaced the power supply, I replaced the RAM, everything, and you know, everything except for the chassis. I think that was the only thing that I didn't have.
No, not Lynn. I had to find Lynn. I hope they hadn't already.
So then, you know, I had that one up and ready to go, and I had all the parts ready for that. And then after it was done, I had the Alienware still. I got the Alienware up and running because they told me it was a RAM issue. So I fixed the RAM, put new RAM in it, and it kept doing the same thing. It'd go for about 6 months, and it'd start doing that stuff all over again, the random shutdowns. So by that time, I said, screw it. I already bought a second processor for it. I had already bought a second video card, a second Strix 1080 for it, and that's what led to the Frostbite build. So I have two 6850s for that reason, and two Strix 1080s for that reason. Is because I kept trying to get one computer to work. I kept trying to get one computer to work. After I got the one computer to work, I tried to get a second computer to work, and then finally gave up and said to hell with Alienware. I'm just going to have two of my own personal builds. Don't get my wife started on it though, dude. That's a sore subject for her. She can rant about Alienware all night long if you let her. She was so pissed. Case, motherboard, RAM, and fans. Hey, that's actually not too expensive. I mean, if you do it right. I mean, you know, it depends on what price point you want to go at for the parts. But I mean, fans you can get a pretty decent value on. The motherboard's just depending on preference. But I think if I looked right, I think the B360 that you were looking at, it's like 150 roughly, give or take. Or 129. It's 129 at Micro Center. Do you run an AIO on it now, or do you do liquid cooling now or anything like that? Okay, so if you don't run liquid cooling now, a little advice I like to give people that when they're just starting on it, and everybody wants to go and build their own custom loop, but if you're wanting the benefits of liquid cooling, I'd say get yourself an AIO that's compatible. You know, get one that's compatible with RSync if you can. If not, the Corsair H80i is an amazing AIO cooler, and you're not going to need to change out the fluid in it for 5+ years. So that's always a way to go. If at least until you can have the extra money in the pocket to actually be able to afford a custom loop. Yeah, the 80. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I knew better. But yeah, check out the Corsair H80i. I think you can get them for anywhere between $60 and $100, and that's what I'm running right now on my desktop rig here, with that 4.5 gigahertz overclock, and it keeps it nice and chilly. And you'll have a good cooling solution on there for the long term, while you save up the money to get the one you want. You think there's no sound? No sound in what? The Oh, okay. There's no sound. No, you say there's no sound. Like, can you not hear anything? Or there's no desktop sound. No, there's no like game sound. Oh, that's why it's turned way down. Let me fix that. Good call. Good catch on that. We're gonna turn that up just a bit there. We'll get it. I don't want it to be louder than me, but I do want it to be loud, because quiet scary games aren't scary. There we go. There we go. That should be much better. And with that, the sound issue has been resolved, I think. Every time I touch one of those doors, the guy pushes through it and kills me in one shot. So we're just going to say to hell with those doors. Keep going.
Decorated with the dead. I checked faces looking for Lynn.
I know. That Asus AIO is so sick. I want that for Frostbite so bad. But they've actually, the Ryuji, it looks even cooler. It has an actual, instead of it being round, it's called the Ryujin, but instead of it being round, it's square. It looks sick too.
Decorated.
Shit. Dude, seriously. Oh, come on. Dude, they love giving me barrels of water to hide in this game. Dude, this main character can breathe forever. It's crazy. How do I get out of this thing? I think they. Okay, so they have me just completely trapped here. I'm not even a little bit trapped. I'm completely trapped. The Asus water blocks on the GPU and CPU. Yeah, that's ultimately the wife and I want to do that with a Frostbite. We're gonna run get EK mono blocks for the CPU and the VRM, and then we're going to get a Strix 1080. Get the Strix GTX 1080 backplate for the backplate and liquid cooling block for the card. That was the ultimate goal, but since my cards don't naturally didn't innately come with a cooler. They didn't come with a cooler. I had to have something on it, so that's why I spent the $80 for just the regular Corsair block. Turn around and walk away, dude. Don't open this. Turn around. There you go. Yeah, the RGB Strix blocks, yeah, they're pretty intense. But they're also insanely expensive. Oh my god, to get the EK mono blocks and everything. I think for the RGB mono block for the CPU, it's gonna run me like a 180 or something like that. Or no, sorry, the GPU is like 160, and the mono block is gonna run me like 80 or 90, I think. I think that's what I saw. And that's just the front plate. That's not if you want the back plate to go with it. And I guess I don't really, I don't necessarily have to have a back plate if because I'm planning on using a riser cable and set my card in a vertical orientation. So I don't necessarily need a back plate for it, but it would look cool. It would be cool just say I had it. I mean, come on, I'm already sitting here with the MSI flagship motherboard here, and there's only one board higher than what I have over here for the Asus flagship. That's a whole other story, though. That was a nightmare. What I did was I went on eBay, and normally I don't do that, but I really wanted to get the parts to do a live stream build, and I had my heart set on a specific board, and it was the Rampage 5 Edition 10, or as I call it, the Rampage 5 Black. And so I found one, and it was $250 on eBay, and I was like, that's a good deal because you know, top of the line flagship motherboard goes for anywhere from $500 to $600. $250 is a steal. And so I contacted the guy after several series of communications back and forth. He said he never overclocked it. It's never been overclocked, and that he used it and he put it up and it's ready to ship and everything's there. And so I'm all super excited and I'm all giddy. I wait for like a week and a half for it to show up from Chula Vista, California. And then when it gets here, I open it up, and the first thing that I notice is he didn't put the CPU socket protector on it and threw all the accessories on top of the motherboard for shipping. Yeah. I'm gonna give that a second for dramatic effect. I just want that to soak in. That he didn't cover the CPU socket with the CPU protector, or the CPU protector, and then threw all the accessories on top of it in the board. Yeah, it was toast. I mean, I tried everything I could to fix those pins, but I noticed it day one and immediately pulled it out of the package and did a test boot to see if it would start up, and it wouldn't even get to post. I mean, the guy gave me my money back, but that's what ultimately led me to going a step down and going with the X99 Gaming, the Strix X99 Gaming, was because it was the day of my stream. It was the day that I planned for my stream. I already announced it. It was all ready to go. And I needed a board to put in it, and X99s are no longer, it's been a discontinued processor for like 3 generations now. So the only place in town that had it was a privately owned company called Altex, and I gained the benefit of the fact that they're one of the few places that still puts items on clearance. They don't just sell it back to the manufacturer or sell it off to a third party. They actually put legitimate items on clearance. And they had 2 of them in stock. So after I got off work, I drove an extra 30 minutes north, which turns my commute into an hour and a half. I drove 30 minutes north to go to the store to pick it up for $300, and just so I could have a board to have it ready for that stream. The stream went off without a hitch. I got the board in. It runs perfect, but the pain is still there because I was really wanting that Rampage in there. Because I thought it'd be cool to have I thought it would be really cool to have the top of the line Strix board and the top of the line MSI board and the top of the line Nvidia board, I'm sorry, the top of the line MSI and the top of the line Asus boards in my 2 computers, but they have identical specs. I thought that'd been really cool.
Enemy of my enemy. Child. It's too late to save the child. It was always too late.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have too many of them anymore. I mean, this is that company and Micro Center are the only real companies that do anything like that around here, but I feel fortunate that I was able to have that, because if not, then that would have cost me hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to get all the parts needed, because I'd have to replace the motherboard, I'd have to replace the RAM, everything would have to change completely. So yeah. And let's be honest, if anybody can get away with it, who really wants to shop at Best Buy? Like, if you have any other option of where to shop, you'll go there first. I feel like Ron Swanson when I go into a Best Buy. I feel like Ron Swanson when he goes to the hardware store, because I got these guys up here. Hey, can I help you find something? I know more than you. You know, that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. And I don't say that so much to them because it's impolite as hell. But that is the feeling that I get whenever I walk into one of those big box retailers. And it's really hard in Alaska too, because like I said, you only have the 2 or 3 places to go to, and the bad thing is that in that area, if I remember right, a lot of them aren't going to be private shops because there's just not enough of an economy up there to sustain them. It would be like big box retailers like Best Buy or Micro Center or places like that. A Walmart, if you would actually consider that a tech store. Some people do. It's not a good tech store, but if you have no tech store, it's an improvement.
So be careful, little eyes, what you see. Oh, be careful, little eyes.
That's crazy. Yeah, they'll do that. It's horrible. You got one, but overpriced. Yeah. You know, I went into a Best Buy recently, and I was looking at one of their PCs that were selling up there, and I can't think of the system integrator's name for it. But I go looking at it, and I'm like, okay, so they're selling this computer for $1,300. What does it have in it? And I go looking around it, and it had an 8600K processor in it. It had 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, and it had a GTX 1070. I was like, okay, that's an okay deal. That's not too bad. But then I go looking inside of it, and it's using a they're not using AIO cooling for it. And the 8600K is notoriously hot. You want to use an AIO on an 8600K. They're just so hot. And it didn't have a liquid cooled AIO on it. It used an air cooler, a blower style cooler, and then it had an micro ATX motherboard in it with one PCI Express slot, and it was populated with a 1070. And then they put a 500 watt power supply in it. And I was like, dude, this is such a ripoff. You know, it's like these poor guys aren't going to be able to keep the video card powered long enough to actually be able to put any load on it. I mean, it'll start up and it'll run, but if they're doing anything crazy like streaming or anything like that, there's absolutely no way that this power supply is going to be able to handle it. And then they have no expandability because it's a micro ATX case or micro ATX board. I have a fundamental problem with system integrators using micro ATX boards and then overcharging. Now, a micro ATX board is usually usually on average about 66% of the cost of a regular ATX board. Therefore, it should be 66% of the price. So these guys charging for $1,300, I'm expecting at least a full-size ATX motherboard.
What have you done to Lynn? Where is she?
We are creatures of appetite. I want to feel your hunger. I want to see your true face. Your seed will burn this world.
Where's Lynn?
Mother, burn. Mother, burn. Mother, burn. Mother, burn. Mother, burn. I welcome her, infant lord. Naked, hiding nothing. I lay down this mess.
Crazy motherfucker!
I show
Where
my
is she?
true face. Show me your true face.
They were all micro ATX. They kept going up. They kept going up in prices. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's like they really keep raising the prices on them, and it shouldn't be that way. Because I mean, and what gets me is the micro ATXs. Sometimes you'll find them with 4 slots, but a lot of times you'll find them with 2 when you're going from big box retailers. And finding them with 2 is just so disingenuous when you're charging such a hefty price tag, and you can only put 2 sticks of RAM in it. It's like there's zero expandability on a micro ATX or a micro ATX case.
He's come. Lust. Child. Your father. The Christ we deserve. Watch.
She is beating the hell out of me. Yeah, they're good. They're good. Yeah, they're good. They're good HTPCs. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to build an HTPC like Kyle at Bitwit did with the. Wait, can I not open that? No. I want to do an HTPC in that Pantex into Shift. Yeah, Shift X, the Evolve or the into Evolve Shift X or something like that. Really thin case. I want the taller one though. I thought that'd be really cool. She went back to go get a frickin' torch. How many batteries do I have
Turn
left?
off the electricity.
I did turn off the electricity. I love how the something's where you don't have any fans at all, and for the microwave takes quarters. Yeah, I think that was I can't remember. I think the Linus did one like that once. It was all black, and like the entire back half of it was just a metal heat plate. I need to get a. I need to go get a preamp for this microphone. I just bought it yesterday, and it was affordable. That's why I bought it. But they say it sounds okay, but I would like to get a preamp for it so I could get a little more boom out of it. Because the way it is right now, I'm having to like sit like really close to it, and then practically eat it to be able to talk through it. Yeah, that's usually how that works, man. She's gonna get jealous that you have such a nice PC. Now you got to build her one too, or else she's gonna be on yours all the time. You find the other power. There's another power box. I'm missing it. Shit, she just found me. Alright, now both power boxes hit. And she's right there. Damn it. Seize this opportunity to heal up. I'm completely out of batteries now, so I have to play the smart game. Tried playing Soma, but for some reason it kept keeping the last frame, so it made it not fun to play. Gotcha. Yeah, I can see that. That's definitely when there's a bug like that, it's really hard to get past.
What did you do to her? You can't keep a secret from yourself.
Battery. Bandages. Can't keep a secret. Yeah, you watch me. I keep secrets from myself all the time. Right. First thought it was part of the game. He just kept going like, yeah, no, yeah. I know that one all too well. That's how I feel about Fallout 76, but we try not to talk about that too much, you know? That's one of those other things that my wife could rant on for hours about. She's so pissed at Todd Howard with that. Like she's a bought and paid for Fallout fangirl, and she's just she was just ready to I mean, I swear to God, if I ever take her to like E3 or something, I've got to keep her out of the Bethesda booth because she'll probably jump up on the stage and jump Todd Howard. She probably will. I mean, it won't be pretty, man. You'll see it. You'll see the big guy with this ugly face trying to hold back 160 pounds of German freaking Irish fury as she's trying to rush the stage. You know, and then the sad thing is that Fallout 76. Okay, to be fair, it is a good co-op game. Okay. But it's not a good game. Like you get into it with your friends and you jump in, and as long as you got people to play with, it's loads of fun. It is.
But honestly, anything with your friends is fun.
Yeah, I mean that by
Jokes are funnier when it's happening to someone else.
that by reference
Love you.
that by reference
Not
point,
like
you know,
I do.
hanging out with your friends as kids and throwing firecrackers into water to watch the geysers, that was fun too because you're doing it with your friends. So, dude, this psycho. Well, that was pointless. Yeah, dude, Tom Clancy's The Division. Yeah, I'm furious about that one too. I mean, my wife and I were excited to see that one come out, and I went and I bought the deluxe edition, pre-ordered the deluxe edition with all the DLC and all that good jazz. And then when it comes out, I'm expecting, you know, I'm watching the videos things and I'm seeing where it's like, oh, well, the companion app and the drones and you can shoot. Dude, she's faster than I am underground. Anyways, so like what sold me on it was the fact that you could shoot a piece of glass and it would shatter, and that was unheard of. I've never seen that in a video game before, so that had me super compelled. And then I go out there when I started, and I shot a piece of glass, and I was like, yeah, I'm immediately disenchanted with this.
Love you. Not like I do.
And then I basically put it down and didn't touch it since, pretty much. I went back and tried it here and there to see if it had any redeeming qualities, and another thing that annoys me is that with that type of game, unless you have one person, like a small group of people that are dedicated and aren't going to go ahead without you, it's like all the bad parts of World of Warcraft put into a game. Yeah, no, it won't let me run. You matured pretty good, though? I don't understand the... Are you saying that they fix the problems over time? Is that my understanding of what you're trying to say? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I've heard good things about it, and I have gone back and I've tried some things, and then there are some things I do like about it, and there's other things I do not. But like, so the one thing that I didn't like about it was that the type of people, the type of demographic that they were tending to cater to, are the type that aren't going to sit there and run specifically with their team. So like, what would end up happening is that I would end up going in. Like, I went out and I bought a guy a copy of the game, right? I'm like, okay, here, I'm gonna buy you a copy of the game because I'm gonna want somebody to hang out with. We can level up together, play a game together, blah 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 blah. And then I go in and I'm playing it for one day, and then I have to go to work, and then I come back and he's like 6 or 7 levels higher than me and doesn't want to come back to help me out. It was really annoying. Dude, Dark Zone. Okay, I'm gonna pause the game here and go on another one of Wrath's rants. The thing that annoys me the most about the Dark Zone isn't even the glitches. It's the people that are inside of the Dark Zone. That is the number one thing that just annoys me so much about the Dark Zone. What they should have done from the very beginning was set it up to where you could click on pacifist mode if you didn't want a PvP, and you could go through the Dark Zone and because I mean the PvE encounters in the Dark Zone are hard enough as it is, especially if you're running by yourself. So if you're running by yourself going through the Dark Zone, you should be able to flag off PvP, and then you only have to worry about the PvE elements unless you attack somebody or try to take their gear off the helicopter. That's the only time I think that should be an exception. If you attack someone or try to take their gear off the helicopter, then you immediately flag for PvP and you're stuck in PvP mode for like 10 minutes. You're on a 10-minute timer, and logging out does not make it go away. And that would have been the fairest way to handle that. Instead, they're like, oh, well, we got to complicate it by adding a tier system and this, that, and the other. Because nothing is more annoying than trying to go into the Dark Zone, because that's where the gear is that you need to progress, and you're getting gunned down like a dog by like 6 people who are just sitting there by the door waiting for you. It's so annoying. That actually... That immediately turned my wife off of the game. Like that one spot. She walked through the Dark Zone door, got shot, got killed one time, said, yep, I'm done. Fuck this game. She was super excited with all the story, with the story mode and the co-op and all that, which is why I'm so hyped up for Anthem. Because Anthem doesn't have a PvP mode yet, and if they did put in a PvP mode, it would be locked behind a separate wall to where it wouldn't actually impact the actual core game. They claim they did, and friends that I have that played the beta said they did, but friends that I have that played the beta are also biased for the game, so I don't really 100% trust their assessment. But that's because you always have that one. It's like the Destiny 2 buddies that you have, where it's like you tell them what you thought was wrong with Destiny 2 and why you don't feel justified to give Bungie another dime of your money, And they turn and say, yeah, well, they fixed it all in Forsaken. Yeah, and they're charging me the full price for an extra fucking game. That's here's my bitch about Destiny 2, and I'll throw that out there. Destiny 1 was bad. Okay, the original Destiny 1 core game was bad. I played it for 2 weeks after giving them $100 of my money for the full pack for pre-order. I was so excited. I paid the $100 up front, full pre-order. And then the game launches, I play it for 2 weeks, it becomes a monotonous headache, and I say, you know what, forget this, I'm done. And I didn't even care to play the expansions content after that. I was done with it. And then Destiny 2 comes out, and I give it a fair shot, and I'm like, okay, cool. They've actually, it looks like they cleaned up a lot of stuff. They made it much more playable. It's kind of enjoyable, and I did have some good times with it. And I want to say I put in maybe 130, 140 hours into it, and I got to the raids and I saw the raid, and content wasn't coming out as fast as I thought it should for a game like that, especially a company that's under the same house. I mean, not necessarily in the same house, but under the same roof with Blizzard Entertainment, who has the largest MMO in the world right now. You'd think they would have consulted them or something on how to make this game last longer. And apparently their ego got in their way, and they didn't. So, I go in and I'm playing it, and I do the DLC, and it ends, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm done with this now. I've done everything I could possibly want to do on this until the DLC hits. So I put it down. About 6 months later, the Curse of Osiris comes in. I wipe through the story in like 3 hours, and then I realize, and something clicks in my head while I'm on Mercury, that this DLC that I spent money for was nothing more than a gigantic box with a persistently changing hallway attached to it. And then the raid that they gave you wasn't actually a raid. You had to go into the same place that you'd been before, but it was just a different hallway of it, and there was only one boss in it, which didn't make it feel like a raid at all. And I was highly disenchanted with it at that point. And then I went through the final DLC, because I figured this time I spent all the money, I'm gonna play all the DLC. And I went through that DLC, and I played through the whole story on it, and then I realized that after that it's just still a needless grind for no real purpose, and put it down and said to hell with it. And so they're like, oh yeah, they fixed it all with Forsaken. My big argument is I already paid them 2 full games worth of money. Okay, and I think that's a valid argument. I've already paid them 2 full games worth of money twice. Once for Destiny 1 and once for Destiny 2. Why should I have to pay them full price for a better experience that they fixed when they should have given it to me for free as a sign of good faith for screwing the pooch 2 times before? And that's my whole argument. I don't want a price drop. I mean, if they had released it and said, okay, it's $20, I might have considered it. But they wanted almost $50 for it at launch. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you almost the price of a full game when you didn't deliver me a complete game with the first $100 I gave you. Does that make sense to you? And that's one thing I do give Ubisoft credit for. At least with Division, they didn't try to sell you extra content under the guise of we fixed it all.
Find Lynn. Nothing matters but Lynn.
Dear beloved, please don't run. Please read this. Please forgive me. I know I must look dog ugly and beat over. I cannot talk to you straight because I lost my tongue to another man's teeth in an act it pains me to think back on. I left the world for Papa Noth when I was just a boy, and I believed everything he sold us for most of my life. But a man can only take so much abuse, can only swallow so many a world's endings. It is hateful to try to believe God's silence is a sign of your own failings. Val tempted me with his twisted up gospel, and I believed. I felt something move upon me more powerful and real than any Holy Spirit. Even those nightmares of what we'd done that plagues us sleeping and wakeful both were silenced. I reveled in sin like a diseased animal, and it gave me blessed peace. But the pleasures in rutting and blood can only go so far, and the nightmares are finding their way back in. I can't find no solace in God if there's a devil, and he's God's work too. And I can only hope ain't none of it is real. God, man, this they did a good job on the writing in this, but I can't stand it when it's I can't stand this kind of a grammatical issue even when it's spoken. It's annoying. And it's really hard to read. There's despair in this, and I find I miss you. I hope it is love and not cowardice. I hope you can forgive me. My worst sin was letting you go. I'll love you as long as you let me. Please forgive me. That's sweet. Because I played D2 for 3 weeks, maxed out, and had to wait on DLC to get higher. Destiny 2 wasn't grindy at all. I'm not sure if that's sarcasm or if you're just legitimately stating that. Sorry, I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. Either way, I mean, I understand if you only had Destiny 2 for 3 weeks before the DLC came out. But yeah, I got a serious burn my ass when it comes to Bungie and Destiny. I mean, I bought into Destiny 1 just because of the Halo cred. Like Halo 2 was one of my most favorite online games that I've played, and I poured in every night because I'd work graveyard shift and I'd get home and I'd put in an extra 6 hours of playing online. It wasn't that you blew through it too fast. It's extremely repetitive. Yeah. And I can understand how it wasn't grindy for you because you went through it so fast. I can totally understand that. See, I picked up Destiny 2 at launch date, so it's like once I hit a certain point, I mean, think about it, it had from August all the way till what, March?
Christ, we deserve. My God.
Lynn!
Oh my God!
Lynn!
Help me!
Lynn! I'm here!
Oh God!
No! Lynn!
He went to his happy place.
Haha, I'm beating you. Get off.
Get off me. Stop.
You have to tell me.
Get off of me.
Not unless you answer.
No.
Fine. Then you have to give up. If you say I win, I'll let you up.
Okay.
You have to say it.
You win, okay?
You're such a pushover, Blake.
Like, one of my friends was able to make 3 characters, delete them since he didn't like how he built them, and made new ones about 3 times before DLC. That pulls you away from the Destiny. Yeah, and that's bad, because it's like, that's exactly what it's like too. Like, I play Destiny and games like that, like I play a lot of MMOs and whatnot, is I only play with one character. I find one character class I like, and I only play one character class. And I kind of take a Japanese approach to that. I find one thing that I like, and then I try to master every nuance of that, and I don't try to change it up. Because I'd rather be really good at one character than be kind of sloppy with 3 or 4 or 10. And so I'm telling my friends, I'm like, there's nothing to do. This is boring. And they're like, well, just make a new character. And I said, why would I make a new character so I can go through the same shit that I've seen
I don't know why you
before
have
already?
to be so precious about it.
Did Lynn ask you to ask me?
I asked first. So,
I don't know.
nerd,
Shut up.
you are.
Yeah.
She said to ask, didn't she?
Maybe. I don't know. I just wanted to know.
You're a nerd too.
I know.
Yeah, when games like that, the only time I roll secondary characters is like if my wife or a friend gets online, and then I consider that their character. Yeah. I like doing tanking mostly. When I first jumped into the MMO scene, I started out as a DPS though, and while I did like it to a degree, that's the only time I've had 2 characters was
Do you think your parents are home yet?
No. Usually not until after.
when World of
I
Warcraft
think
put
I
it
can
out.
come
I started
over.
out as a warlock in
Sure.
vanilla, and then when they
Why?
created the Death Knight
Why what?
class, I picked up the Death Knight
Why do
because
you
it
wanna
started
come
you out
over?
at level
I
55.
don't know.
And it was a tanking class, so I was like, okay, cool. And I wanted to take a hand at tanking. I was tired of DPSing, and I want to take a hand at tanking. And that was the only time I ever did that. But I wouldn't have done it if it had started at level 1. That would not have happened.
What don't you know, Jessica?
Oh, sorry.
What are the 2 of you doing in here?
I'm sorry, Father Loudermilk.
We stayed after school for journal? We were just leaving.
Let's step back into class, please.
Blake?
You're not in trouble yet, Blake. You don't want to get in trouble, do you?
Just stay with me.
I want you 2 to tell me what you were doing in here. Were you misbehaving? Do I need to call your parents? Jessica, do I need to call your father again?
No, please.
I only want us to be friends. Nobody's in trouble yet. Does one of you think you can make this right? Jessica? Jessica, look at me. Will you pray with me? Will you help me make this right? Why don't you go along home, Blake?
Don't go.
Did I interrupt something between you 2?
It wasn't like that.
Then what did you want? You won't say? You know, shame is a gift from God to let you know right from wrong. And what you want is very wrong. Go home and pray.
Stay. I want you to stay.
Blake, please. This is awkward enough. Nothing's the matter, but I need you to leave us.
Don't.
Everything's okay. You can leave, young man.
Yeah. How are you getting it free?
Walk away.
Is it like a game share thing? Oh, that's cool.
Get away! Just leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Stop! I don't know what you think you saw.
Now, yeah, I want Devil May Cry 5. I'm totally looking forward to that one. I completely spaced on that one when you asked me what games I'm looking forward to. Yeah, Devil May Cry. That's awesome. And I've already played the. I have an Xbox, so I've already seen the demo of it. If you haven't seen the demo of that, I could probably stream it.
Fuck! Fuck! Lynn!
Wait,
Lynn!
you're alive.
You're pregnant. How are you pregnant?
Please. I don't want to die here. I don't want our baby to die here.
I won't let them kill you.
Throughout the course of this game, she went from not
We
pregnant
have
to
to get out of
pregnant.
here.
How does that work? Dude, those are some super swimmers. Let me tell you. Not only did they impregnate her, but they freaking got her through the 9 months. In just the course of this video game, and just the I'm looking at it, 7 hours I've been playing this. That's intense. Let's see.
We're out. I got Jessica out. It was cold, but the snow had just started. We'll find a grown-up and we'll tell them what happened. We'll be okay.
We'll find a grown-up and we'll tell him what happened. You are a grown-up, dude. Why are you... He's speaking like he's a kid again. Yeah, I'll be streaming Resident Evil 2, like Saturday night. I don't know. I may even decide to just come straight home from work at 8 in the morning and start streaming then. Nah, probably won't. Games like that are better in the dark for one, and for two,
We have to find shelter.
and for two, I want to be awake for it because I don't want to have to stop the action.
Down here! We have to get inside before the baby comes.
It's too dangerous. You can't.
We can't stay out here. Help me down, please, Blake.
Okay. Jesus. Be careful. Fuck! Fuck! Lynn! You okay? I'm coming down.
It hurts.
I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
I need to lie down.
Back here.
Okay. I just...
It's gonna be okay, baby. Oh, shit! Come on!
Ah, hell.
Oh, fuck! Oh, Jesus Christ, Blake! What the fuck? I think something's wrong. It hurts too much. I need to lay down.
Amazon's usually really good about that. My wife did a stint with them working seasonal over the holiday. Nice. Dude, that was...
Fuck you! And fuck your god!
Okay, that was pretty damn awesome.
Blake, a path!
Dude, this game's pretty freaking hardcore, man.
Getting worse!
Hurry. We'll find shelter.
It's like the whole world burnt.
That's really cool that you were able to get all those games. I can't believe they gave all 3 of them out with it. That's a hell of a Black Friday special. I mean that makes the cost of the card negligible if you look at it. Because I mean, all 3 of those games is like that's $180 there, right off of the 300 something or $400 price tag.
She's coming soon!
There! The chapel! We can take shelter!
Yeah, AMD's always been good about that. I remember whenever I got my AMD card, I had got a Sapphire. I think it was a Sapphire 6850K. Where that's in one of my builds. That's in the kids' room, and I got a copy of Deus Ex: Human Revolution with it. That was pretty neat.
It's cold!
Keep moving.
Jesus!
Fuck! The storm's getting worse! The chapel. We'll be safe in the chapel.
The world was on fire and the baby was coming. Impossible child. Lynn said Jess was like her little sister. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Hey, that makes plenty of sense to me. That's the best reason to want to go Vega if they're putting those kind of deals on them.
Come on, Lynn!
You know they're talking
We have
about
to
bringing
get
the Radeon
inside.
back, right? Oh god, I'm putting her on a torture rack.
Oh shit! Shit! Oh.
You need to lie down.
I can't do this!
You can! You can do this!
Oh god!
That's
Something's
good though,
wrong.
because I mean, I actually
Keep
prefer the.
breathing.
Feels like something's wrong. Ah! It hurts too much.
I know, baby, I know. But you can do this, okay? Just keep breathing.
Don't look down there. Don't look down there. Okay, I can't do this anymore. We can't do this, guys. I'm sorry. I can't continue this on stream because I don't want to get banned. There's a certain level of. there's a certain level of things I think that Twitch will let me get away with, but I don't think pixelated childbirth is one of them. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to let me go ahead and I'm going to black out the screen real quick so I can get through this one scene, and then I'll continue on. I can still hear you and I can still talk to you, but I want to be able to upload this to YouTube and stuff, so I don't want to be able to. I don't want to have anything on here that they could potentially wreck that.
Oh, fuck! Fuck! Ah! Oh, God! Oh, God!
Keep breathing.
It's
Just
killing
push.
me!
It's...
Ah!
Okay, that's over. I can flip it back now, hopefully. All right.
Lynn!
There's nothing there.
Oh, Jesus God! Lynn! 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 No! Lynn! No! Lynn! Ah, no! Ah,
So,
Someone's sure fussy.
Lynn said you haven't even kissed her yet.
What?
Like in Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, you mean drama. The play. We're saving for the, actual night.
Uh-huh.
We are.
Okay.
We, cheek kiss.
So, is she your girlfriend? Tell me, or else.
Or else what? Stop it, get off.
Yeah, I don't want
You again.
I don't want to run the risk of some teenager or something haphazardly jumping across my YouTube channel and getting taught about the birds and the bees too early, you know?
I've taken care of my children. But yours, I am powerless against. The child's too strong already. You've murdered paradise. God has gone silent. Since the storm, the birth. Who will he have if he destroys us all? Who will he have left to punish? I killed my children. All of them. Every last one. There's no more perfect faith than that. And still, God is silent. Kill that child if you can. If you love anything at all, crush its skull under your heel. I know God doesn't hear dead men, but I expect he answers them.
How did he get the cut that low with that kind of double chin? You know, I'm actually surprised that this game never got like any ESRB warnings, or people didn't riot in the streets over this, because this is the kind of that last scene there, that last scene of the childbirth, dude, that totally would have been just, you know, maybe you know the people haven't heard about it yet or something, or it's a little known secret because Outlast is such a small time game. But if this was a big AAA game, people would be freaking out and rioting in the streets, but they didn't over this. I don't know why. It blows my mind. Oh no, no, I'm not gonna do something that incorrect, dude. There's absolutely no way I'm gonna throw the baby in the well. Alright, I can't do that. That's just wrong.
Okay. You have her. She'll get to grow up.
Oh, don't make me throw the baby in the well, please.
She's gonna be okay. You have her. She'll get to grow up. She'll do everything she was born to do.
Everybody seems so normal in the daytime.
Hey, Blake. Try to find me. I'm over here. This way, Blake. Don't worry. I'll never let you go. You never let me go. Now the light has gone away. Savior, listen while I pray, begging thee to watch and keep, and send me quietly to sleep. Watchful Savior, wash away all I've been wrong today. Help me every day to be gentle, gentle, more like thee.
And there we have it. A complete live stream beginning to end, complete clear of Outlast 2. Yesterday I cleared Outlast 1 completely, and that keeps up with our Scary Game Night stuff. That concludes Scary Game Night. Definitely want to appreciate everybody for coming by and hanging out with us. And all the new followers. We've got a load of new followers tonight. Aside from that, let's see. I gotta turn this down, man. This is way too loud. Blow my ears out here. So we're just gonna turn that down just a bit. Fantastic game, albeit a bit graphic. And I mean, I had fun with this, man. I had fun with this one. My takeaways, though, is that it's definitely highly underrated, the Outlast series. If you're into scary games, definitely play it. It's worth playing if you like the things that go bump in the night. It's perfect for you. But now I think it might be time to change a gear and play something else. Zadis, is there anything that you actually want to see me play, or? I know there's a DLC content pack for this game, but I don't have it, so we're not gonna be able to play any DLC for it. But we're gonna let the credits roll, see if anything pops up after the fact, and then go from there. In the meantime, go ahead and enjoy the credit roll. I'm gonna be right back. We will pop an intermission up here. Cool, that's fine. I'm gonna let the credits finish rolling here real quick though. That's why I popped up the intermission screen. I'm gonna go stand up, move around for a minute because you know, I gotta stretch regularly, and I will be right back. So just sit tight. Okay, so I'm back. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to stop the stream and then restart it just for archival purposes so it can separate up the games. If not, what Twitch is going to do is it's going to set it up into chapters, and I don't want to do that. If somebody wants to find this game, they should see it under its title. If they want to see another game, they should see it under that title. So I'm going to end the stream, and then I'm going to crank it right back up in like 1 minute. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.